Today's video is brought to you by Squarespace, my go-to for building a website and online shop. Hello, I am back with part 2 of my post-birth life update video. This video I want to talk about postpartum and I guess the newborn trenches. So for me, after birth, I was feeling a lot of emotions. I luckily did not get postpartum depression, but I definitely got baby blues. And the number one, I think, trigger for me was I had so much, I felt so much love and connection with this baby that it started making me think about all the embryos that didn't make it, like all the miscarriage and the embryo that didn't implant, and how much potential those embryos had. Like now that I know that a little tiny embryo in the freezer can turn into this life, this soul that I'm so bonded to, and I know its potential, those other losses suddenly felt so much greater and so much heavier. And I just remember thinking like, wow, each one of those, I missed out on the opportunity to hold a unique, lovely, perfect little baby, just like the one I'm holding now. And you know, I felt really guilty because I was like, why am I dwelling in the past when I should just be fully present and engaged with the baby I have now? So it was a lot of feelings of grief and guilt mixed in with the grief. And also in the beginning, I had a lot of anxiety because my milk didn't come in as early as I had wanted it to. So, you know, she was losing weight, which is, I heard, normal. Like they're born a certain weight and then they lose it and then they gain it back. But she also had jaundice, which I also heard is normal. So these are things I did not know prior to giving birth. But apparently like 80% of babies, newborns, get jaundice in their first week. So I just felt really guilty. We ended up supplementing with formula so she could flush the jaundice out of her system. Eventually my milk did come in. And but I always felt like guilty that I wasn't making enough milk because she wasn't gaining weight as much as I guess the ideal rate. Like she was born at like 85th percentile or something in weight. And then by the time she was like a month or two old, she had dropped to like kind of like 40th percentile in weight. And I kept thinking it was because my milk wasn't nutritious enough, or maybe I wasn't making enough. So just a lot of guilt, which again, I heard it's normal. Basically anything bad that you experience, someone will tell you, oh, that's normal after birth. So I just felt this immense responsibility, this sense of duty to protect her and to nourish her. And then all that was like tied together with a nice bow of guilt. There are times where she was just sleeping peacefully and I would start crying looking at her, feeling really bad for her. Even though she was like perfectly fine, I just always felt like guilty that I should be doing more. So yeah, that was an interesting feeling, just constant guilt, nonstop, constant anxiety that something bad would happen to her. Like every time I would carry her and I'd have to walk up or down the stairs, I'd have these scary, intrusive thoughts that I would drop her or trip and she would bonk her head on the stairs or something. So part of being a new mom, I heard, is just dealing with the sense of worry and guilt that stays with you for the rest of your life. Yay! But yeah, I also learned that every baby is very different. So many of the stories and so much of the advice I was given by friends and family members was based on their own babies, and every baby is different. So sometimes I felt like, oh, if someone else's baby was like sleeping better or eating better, it was because I wasn't doing as well as that other person. But then I realized, no, some babies are born like naturally good sleepers. Some babies are born naturally good eaters. Some babies are naturally fussier. Some babies are more chill. I would say we were very lucky. My baby is, of course, everyone's going to be like, my baby's amazing, but my baby is very easygoing. Like she's always smiley, always in a good mood. And even when she cries, it's not usually for very long. It's usually when she's hungry. And it's like a very, I would say, ladylike, subdued type of crying. Like the second she gets what she needs, she stops crying. She's not someone to wail nonstop for no reason. Where we got, I guess, less lucky is she's not the best sleeper. So when she was a newborn, she slept sometimes for 2-3 hours at a time. And I really wish during that phase I would have done more work, because now that she's older, she's 3 months now, She's going through a period where she only sleeps like 20 to 30 minutes at a time, unless I'm holding her, and then she might sleep for 2 hours. So at this point, I really don't know how I'm gonna find time to paint or make 2 videos every month. I'm really hoping that as she gets older, she'll naturally, improve and progress. But yeah, at this rate, it's just, she's very attached to me, which I love. And I know that they're only going to be small for such a limited time. So I'm trying to like really soak it in and not try to rush back to work, but I'm trying to seek a balance. The newborn phase, like I did love and feel a deep connection with her, but a lot of it was rooted in this need to protect her and need to the sense of responsibility. And I think it was around week 5 or 6 when the lights turned on in her head and she smiled at me for the first time. That's when like this like wave of love just washed over me, and it's so hard to describe. And there was this TikTok I saw that like when you first have a baby, it's really easy to talk about how hard the difficult parts are. Like, I'm sleep deprived, I'm tired, I don't have any time to myself, I haven't showered, blah, blah, blah. But it's really hard to put into words the love and the joy and the positive aspects of having a new baby. And I totally see that now because, yeah, every time I look into her eyes, it's like this deep connection that I've never felt with another human being. The bond is just like, it goes beyond, it's a different kind of love than romantic love, than love I have for my other family members, and the love I have for my friends, the love I have for anything I've ever felt. Like, it's just, it needs its own language to describe. I would say like, it feels almost like, that there's another, I keep learning these things from TikTok because I can't describe them on my own, but someone wrote, it's like your heart is growing so big that it breaks. Because like in the love, there's so much sadness. Like every moment I spend with her, even though I'm enjoying the moment, there's also this undercurrent of grief that this moment will pass. And the next day she's going to be so much bigger and she won't be this small forever. And that one day she'll be like a teenager and I'll look back and wish I could hold her as a little baby again, even though I'm currently holding her as a little baby. Like, it's just heartbreaking. It's like, it's honestly when I first got Boogeroo as a kitten, a very similar feeling, but like times 1,000 for the baby, is just knowing like how temporary and ephemeral this phase is. So even though it's difficult, it's also so beautiful because like they're only going to be babies for a year, right? So if you live 100 years, you're only going to have a baby for like 1% of your life, which is, it just goes by in the flash of an eye. So, or in the blink of an eye. So yeah, I just really, really want to cherish this time. Being a mom is not something I felt like I was ever naturally good at. Like before I had my own baby, even after having my own baby, I don't feel like I'm super good with kids. Like I was never someone who naturally knew what to do around kids or how to bond with them, or I never knew how to hold a baby until I had one of my own. Like the first few days, like even holding her, I felt so like inexperienced. But now that I have my own, I can really see the why we have kids. Like they're so pure and innocent, and the joy that they have is also like so concentrated, like the amount of joy. It's truly like remarkable to witness, and I haven't had a lot of time to witness. My baby's only 3 months old, but even the journey from day 1 to now, the like progress I see in how aware she is, how sentient she is, not just her physical growth, but her mental and emotional growth. Like, putting aside the fact that it's joyful to watch your own child grow, it's also so fascinating to see how a human being goes from like a sleepy potato who all they know how to do is like eat, sleep, and poo, to like a full-grown adult who can like build rockets or cure diseases, like, or paint paintings. It's just so cool to see how we develop as human beings from something so helpless to full-grown capable adults. So that's been really fascinating to watch, and watching every day new skills develop. My husband and I always joke, it's like every day there's like a software upgrade and we can see what new features have been updated. So yeah, it's been a really wonderful time. I just feel overjoyed every day. And even though I'm tired, it's like my body has already adapted to getting very little sleep. You know, she wakes up every 3 to 5 hours overnight. And pretty much all day I need to be on it. Like I'm breastfeeding her, so I need to just be available at all times. And at least for now, I still have a lot of reservoir in me. Like I'm still really excited to spend time with her. Even in the middle of the night when I'm groggy and sleepy and I hear her crying, when I get up, I'm almost like excited to get to see her again, hold her again, and spend time with her. So I don't mind getting up. I think a lot of my attitude also just comes from all the struggles to get to this point. Like I'm just so grateful that she's here and that she's alive and healthy, that I don't really mind all the small inconveniences. Like to me, they feel like a privilege to be able to change her poopy diaper, a privilege to be able to nurse her at 3 a.m. Those moments I really cherish. So yeah, I'm really enjoying motherhood. But that being said, I really miss painting, and I still have solo exhibitions that I really want to start working towards. And of course, with YouTube and Patreon, like I don't want to neglect this career and this audience that I feel really connected to, and people who support me. And I don't want to just like neglect this for a long time. So I am trying to find balance here, and hoping that as she gets older and she starts sleeping through the night, maybe we can find a way to squeeze in some time for me to work. I don't know, maybe I'll have her chilling next to me while I paint or something. But yeah, I'm hopeful for the future. I'm really happy in the present. And thank you all so much for watching these videos. I know it's probably kind of boring to watch 4 back-to-back videos of me talking to camera and not doing any art. So if you have any ideas for a type of art video I can film that's really quick, please, I'm open to your suggestions. And I think next month I want to do a Q&A video as well. So if you have any questions for me, whether it's about art or motherhood or anything, I'd love to answer that as well, either face-to-face or over a voiceover or something. So yeah, feel free to shoot me your questions in the comments. And thank you all so much for watching. And I love you guys. And I have to get back to breastfeeding now, but it's been so nice talking to you. And I'll see you again soon. Bye. And of course, you guessed it, my eternal never-ending sale is still going on in my shop. So if you'd like 20% off your order of prints and originals, just enter the code HOLIDAY at happyd-artist.com. And if you're interested in learning more about how to paint and draw, I have lots of art educational content on my Patreon page, including exclusive video tutorials, step-by-step photo tutorials, live streams, podcasts, and even surprise art gift boxes. All available at patreon.com/happydartist. I'd love to have you join my Patreon family. A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video and supporting the art community. I've been using Squarespace for 10 years now, and it's been an integral part of being able to make a living as an artist. Aside from their beautiful customizable templates and easy-to-use interface, Squarespace now has so many robust tools to help make website building be both effective and intuitive. There's a new design intelligence feature that uses a combination of industry experience and cutting-edge AI to help you make a website bespoke to your brand and digital identity. Squarespace takes the intimidation out of setting up an online shop with their intuitive e-commerce platform that accepts every type of payment method you can imagine, all with just a few simple clicks, so you can easily sell your work all around the world. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/happydartist to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Also, if you want to check out more artworks, works in progress, and just random daily artist adventures, feel free to check out my Instagram, and you can follow me at the handle @happydartist.